Hello, everyone, and welcome to Get More Clients. I'm your host, Lynn Whitbeck. Business owners and entrepreneurs hire me to ignite winning sales because most are chasing down clients, stuck in a chaotic sales cycle, and lacking client retention, conversions, and profits. The mission of this show is to educate, inspire, and motivate women around the world to build a robust sales strategy to get more clients, because most can't get more clients and haven't a clue why. You will learn to transform thinking to the client's perspective, end sales chaos with a robust strategic plan, and to harvest the hidden profits. You will also have the opportunity to connect with me further and see how I can support you beyond today. Last week, we discovered why understanding yourself is vital to accelerating your sales and business growth. And I want to review the 3 exercises that we went through. The first was writing out every accomplishment that you can think of. And I want to point out your accomplishments don't have to be recognized by an institution like a university or a company. You can and should list things that you might even consider silly or trivial, like I'm a level 48 Pokemon Go player. Whatever it happens to be. Maybe it's completing a difficult video game. All of these things count. And our second exercise that we went through was how to observe your automatic thoughts for 5 days, including positive and negative ones. And in fact, listening to negative Nellie and acknowledging what that she is saying and whispering in your ear is very important. So examples of automatic thoughts could be, everyone thinks my sales technique is too pushy. Or everyone else but me is an expert at closing. So you want to write those out because those are the things that are being told to you, these negative thoughts, and they're very powerful and you need to understand and acknowledge what they are. And we went through this exercise to also cover writing down balanced thoughts. So an example of a balanced thought would be, I really did well in that presentation, but I could have articulated this particular point in a better way. So through that, we went into exercise number 3, and that exercise was to reference your accomplishments that we went through and then identify your strengths for each accomplishment and highlight that within you. So as an example, if you did complete a challenging video game, or I get to level up to 49 in Pokemon Go, that probably took some perseverance. I know it takes a while, and it could also take a lot of problem solving, certainly with the video games and getting leveled up. So I want you throughout that process it's important not to be shy or humble. As you go through those exercises, and if you need to revisit the episode from last week, please do so, because every time you list a strength, you want to think about how it could help you with your current sales or processes, and how this will hopefully help you feel more prepared to tackle it and feel confident doing so. So today, we're going to explore introspection clarity and how it delivers proven and powerful advantages. So I want you to really tap into your superpowers. And by the end of today's show, you will know how to reframe your flaws into strengths, train your brain to view constructive criticism as an exciting opportunity for discussion and idea exchange, and push your comfort zone and acknowledge your superpowers. Woohoo! By learning now how to reframe your perceived flaws, strengths, and gleaming the good from constructive criticism, it's going to change your game for your personal and professional growth. So let's dive into these, because we're going to be talking about these core concepts. And the first one we're going to start with is reframing your flaws. We all have perceived flaws, from being sloppy to getting caught up in the details. definitely can get into the weeds and be very detail oriented. But the truth is about flaws is that they're not all bad, right? You know, as people say, the devil's in the details. You got to know those things, but you also need to know how to balance that. And so, sure, they might take some work, but finding ways to manage your flaws in given situations can help build your problem solving skills and how you present and be present with your clients and your team members. And you also get to learn new things about yourself and your sales process. And even better, you don't have to accept that a flaw is a flaw. The things that you think are flaws probably help you in some ways because every flaw has a flip side. You can also say the same about every strength has a shadow side. All right. So I want you to think about that. Every coin has a head and a tail, and you just have to flip it around to see the benefit this characteristic holds for you. So for an example, maybe you're really shy, but you're also an excellent listener. So I want you to think about this. You want to look for the good in every perceived flaws and consider how these flaws are actually strengths. So to gain clarity and to see your hidden superpower, I want you to try this exercise. So I'm going to go through this so you can all be ready and really dive in deep to this because this is very powerful. So to gain clarity and see your hidden superpower, I want you to list any of the flaws that you think you have. Okay, just get out that piece of paper and you start listing every single flaw. So put that in the right side. Now, I want you to think about how you can manage those flaws or make them less of a hindrance. All right, so here's a good example of my being detail oriented. So one of the things that I've learned, because I am quite detail oriented, is when to dive deep into the details with a client and when they just need the bullet points. And so with the details, going through the details is a really great exercise for me. So I know the map, I know where we're going, I know how we're going to get there, what the process is, what the methods we're going to use. But then it's like, what are the big high level bullet points? Because those are the things that they need to have clarity on. And then if they want to go into the weeds, I'm already prepared and ready to go there. And I'm also looking at what type of meeting we're having. Because in some meetings, many of the people in that meeting may not need to go into those weeds, right? It's the same thing when you're presenting to a client, you're having a strategy session. If you go way into the details with that client and their eyes start to glaze over, and you can tell just by the video camera or in person that you've lost them. All right. Some people don't really want to know how. They just want to know, yes, that you can, and you're going to take care of it. And as a salesperson, it's almost like we're doing this verbal vomit by going, it sounds horrible, I'm sorry, but it's the truth. But we're going into way too much detail and we need to stop talking. Okay. And we need to listen. So with the details, when I have somebody who wants to go into the details and that's powerfully important to them, that's a superpower. But by working through my bullet points and what are those top level ideas and concepts that need to be conveyed, that's what I use for the group or for the people who don't really want to get into the weeds. And we just hit on those. And I still have the ability and the confidence of knowing where we're going. And so all of a sudden, that becomes a superpower. So that's what you want to do. You want to look at how you can find ways to manage those flaws and make them less of a hindrance. You're looking for the good, to find the flip side, to find the superpower. And by taking a closer look at these things that you perceive as flaws, you're likely to find some handy skills and impressive strengths. So just like I just gave you the example of being detail oriented, because I am that way, I can really then figure out what are those high top level bullet points. Those are the ones that I need to convey. And that's the information that people need, right? And so this is the great thing about this. The insider tip for this exercise, because sometimes it's hard for us to see this in ourselves, is to ask a friend, a peer, somebody that you trust to help you go through this exercise and to get started. Heck, you can even do this in a group, get a group of your peers together, and throw a virtual mocktail party and do this together. All right. And then you can receive that input, which is a perfect way for us to go in and next, go into what we're going to be doing, because we're going to want to complete this introspective exercise to retrain your brain to view constructive criticism as an exciting opportunity for discussion and idea exchange. So when you have that mocktail party with your peers, a group of trusted friends, coworkers, etc., this is an opportunity for you to hear from them things that you may not be aware of. Okay. So I really want to dive into this receiving, processing, and growing from constructive criticism. It is definitely not easy. Receiving constructive criticism can feel like a personal attack. It can. Yeah. I want us to let just sit there with that. And I want you to really acknowledge that it can feel like a personal attack. But it's really a sign of admiration and respect. All right? Because someone cares enough, they care enough about you that they want to tell you something that may be hard for them to say and hard for you to hear. Wow. I want you to really process what I just said, because this is mind-blowing how important this is, so that you can accept and acknowledge and really process and learn how to grow from constructive criticism. So this is an exercise that you can use to process constructive criticism the next time you receive it. So the first thing I want you to do is write down the situation. What was being criticized? What was we were going through? And in fact, I just received constructive criticism yesterday, not from my client, but from somebody that we work with. And so it was sort of this cool thing, because I was preparing the episode today. And when I got on to prepare for the show, and my incredible team member, who happens to be my niece, Rachel, and I were talking about this and how it really came together for me, because I literally just went through this the day before, and how powerful this exercise is, and the work that we had already done to help people process this. So I want to talk about this. So write down that situation, what was being criticized. And while constructive criticism demonstrates that the critic sees your potential, your feelings don't always reflect that. All right. And that's okay. So go through that exercise, write down what the criticism was. I did it verbally with Rachel and talked to her about it. And the second step is to express your emotions. All right. Because we're human beings, we have feelings. You've got to get to that emotional component. It's so critical for you to acknowledge your feelings, how it made you feel, and to process those, because you must have emotional repair so that you can then really process the constructive criticism for what it was: respect and admiration. Someone, it was hard for them to deliver and to give to you, and you need to be able to accept that and see how you can use it, right? So this is that process of what were those emotions, walking through that, and then reflecting on the criticism. Can you see the critic's point? Are there any points you don't understand or don't agree with? So on that sheet of paper, maybe you're going to flip it over now, and you're going to write out your feelings about the criticism. How did it make you feel? All right. And you need to acknowledge that so you can process it and then be able to let it go. And then I want you to reflect about their criticism and write that out. Okay. How it made you feel. What your thoughts are as you're processing it. All right. Really reflect. Step 3. All right. We're going to identify any points that you would like to clarify, because this is the time to ask. So especially within that immediacy of that same day, the next business day. So you can ask some questions about that constructive criticism. So write down some of the questions you can ask the critic about their feedback. And I've got some ideas to get you started. So can you tell me more, or will you tell me more about what you mean by, I'm too detail oriented. I'll just fill in the blank for you. Whatever and that wasn't the constructive criticism, but whatever it is, fill in that blank. Okay. Where can I learn more about this? This is another great way, because if it's something specific that you could actually pick up, something to learn about, a new growth mindset piece, a skill that you can acquire, a specific, maybe the constructive criticism was actually about a skill set that you need to acquire. Maybe you're not an expert on SEO, and there's a place that you can go to learn more about that, right? Or some simple piece of guide or workbook that you could process quickly. Another question that you can ask is, what have I done right that I should continue? Right? Yeah, we all want to get those attagirls and attaboys, but you really, through that conversation, what is working? What's not working, and what do you want to have working, right? So that's what you're going to process. And asking questions can make you more prepared and to make the suggested improvements. It's really it's that closing that whole process. And it can boost your confidence by highlighting what you did well and learning why your critic thinks the certain things about this whole situation. It's really quite powerful. Oh, take it in. I mean, this is just incredible opportunity. And I want you to have that conversation and ask your questions. Okay. And a bonus step in this exercise of constructive criticism is to write out your reflections on the conversation you have with your critic. How did the conversation go? Right. And, by going through this exercise, each time you receive difficult feedback, you can train your brain to view constructive criticism as an exciting opportunity for discussion and idea exchange. It's a beautiful thing. It's absolutely a beautiful thing. And these 2 exercises deliver powerful and proven advantages to expand your frame of reference and improve your sales performance. So let's sit with that just for a minute, because I really want you to think about how this is going to improve your sales performance. Because I learned way back that I was detail oriented and I could get into the weeds. And that was constructive criticism that I received by this incredible man who was my boss and mentor. And I was able to accept that criticism, sort of process it. And of course, it was like, well, we need to know all these details. We need to know all that. But it was like, well, yes, we do, but we don't need to present that much information. It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming to the client. It's that, pardon me for saying it again, but it's that verbal vomit. And the clients, we've just lost them because they're really looking for that high level. And that's what we've been going through, that client why. What do they want, need, or lack? What problem is it solving? What area of concern is it addressing? What's in it for them? Why does it matter to them? So they can. All right. And when you're in a sales strategy session, and especially in that B2B environment where you are presenting to a larger room, what you want to do is really understand that, yes, you are detail oriented and you've got all this information, but It's literally in their back pocket, and you can use it after the meeting for when somebody wanted to go into the weeds and into the details. You can set up a second meeting for them to walk them through that, or you can do it as a sidebar at the end of the meeting afterwards. Go get coffee, right? Or have a virtual coffee with them, right? So all of those things are really powerful when you can take that and reprocess it, because it does become a superpower because you have that skill, but now you've learned how to reframe to your clients' thinking about what matters to them and putting that in front of them and serving it to them exactly how they need it, what they need to know so that they can move forward, so you can guide them to a decision. So when you're working through all of these exercises that we've been going through on introspection, I've now given you 5, and next week we're going to cover a few more. They are truly powerful. They are a game changer for how you are going to perform in your sales, how you're going to be present in your sales strategy, how you're going to help your team grow your business, because this is absolutely critical. You know, salespeople need to have that knowledge and that information and that opportunity for clarity and introspection so they can perform at their peak performance. That's what this is about. And that's why these exercises are so important. And I'm spending a whole bunch of time on them. That's right. And you may think, whoa, wait a minute. Why are we not talking about sales strategy? Well, we are. We are talking about sales strategy. You know, we're talking about how you get out of your own way so that you can grow and be incredible at what you do and serve your clients and create the impact that you want to create. Yeah. So introspection and going through all these exercises is going to be incredibly useful and powerful for you, because your enthusiasm and receptivity to pushing your comfort zone is your hidden superpower. Okay. To see beyond your paradigm. All right. We're going to dump complacency. It has no place in growing a business. It has no place in being the best that you can be. So we're going to be open to continually retraining our brain and continuous improvement. Okay. Because there's always something new out there. And it's about rebrooding your mindset. And I want to give you an example. It's sort of like when your smartphone or whatever the device is starts really acting up and it's getting really glitchy. All you have to do is turn it off and then turn it back on. And you literally reset the little puppy, right? And it's the same thing with our head. We need to do that so we can clear our head. So sometimes we need to take that break and go through these exercises in that moment so that we can then come back better and stronger than ever. And I want to take this moment right now to thank you for inviting me to come along in this great adventure, because every episode is designed to help you expand and hone your sales strategy in simple shifts and tweaks. And after every time that we come together, we want you to be energized, to immediately be able to incorporate what you've learned, to imagine new possibilities, and to go after the new opportunities that you've uncovered. So I want to thank you for tuning in. You know, my purpose is for you to get more clients. And on behalf of the Win-Win Women Network, I have carved out a limited number of time slots to invite you to hop on and ignite your sales call with me to see what's working, not working, and what you would love to have working. I'm going to see how I might further support you in effectively generating more leads, converting more sales, and fulfilling on your promise as a brand and organization. The fastest way to success is to assure people know they matter. And the best way to make this happen is to build a consistent sales strategy to acquire, convert, and capitalize on every lead. You will find growing your business is easy and lucrative. Ah, my goodness. I'm so excited for you to come in next week because I want to tell you a little bit about what we're going to be covering. Because today we looked at introspection clarity and how it delivers proven and powerful advantages. And the key, remember, is for you to implement these steps and to stop wasting time, energy, and resources. And I already alluded to this, but you have that opportunity to jump in and get the support you need for true success. Say yes to you and get on a call with me. And I'm really, truly gifted at this. And you deserve a shortcut to your success with the right support. So you can go to p2q.link, p2q.link/win-win. And you can also connect with me on our website. And of course, to stay current on all of our insightful advice, our breakthrough advantage, and never miss out on a single episode, you can sign up for our weekly wisdoms newsletter at petitetoqueen.com. And I know I told you this is sort of a spoiler alert, but I wanted to talk about next week on Get More Clients, because we're going to be discussing how to leverage affirmations to break free from what's holding you back for both personal and professional growth. And I cannot emphasize enough how powerful affirmations are. They have completely changed my life, and I am such a firm believer in them. I'm going to give you mine that I still use every single day because it's so important and it frames how I view the day. When I jump up in the morning, I say, there are so many things I get to do today. Every time during the day, if I start feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling overwhelmed, I've got all these things added to my plate, I've had something go sideways, I take that moment. I want us to take that moment and and I say, there's so many things I get to do today, because that reframes my perspective in that moment. By taking that powerful pause, it's a gift to myself. That's why I believe in affirmations, and they're so strong. We're going to go into a whole bunch of additional things. We're not going to talk just about affirmations. No, siree. We're going to talk about the fears that are holding you back. We all have them, and so many times they actually come back from things that are in our childhood, and there are these things that we really need to dig deep, and we need to let it sit with us so that we can identify it and that we can understand it better. We can bring it to light. It's almost like we're on this expedition, I'd like to say with Indiana Jones, but it's probably not that exciting. But we're definitely going on an expedition to really uncover that and to go deep and understand how that's impacting our performance, not only for ourselves, but for how we present to our team members and to our clients, and how it's limiting our ability to grow our business. So these are really deep, and this is critical exercise so that you can break free from that and to acknowledge and understand and see, right? And then process it, and then create an affirmation that's going to help you overcome that fear. Really, it's going to be a very key step, because when you tell yourself this complete flip side positive every day, the first time you wake up in the morning, you're retraining your brain to look at things differently. And that's going to really sit with you, and it's going to make it so incredibly powerful. So we have a lot of deep work that we're going to be doing tomorrow. Oh, I shouldn't say tomorrow. On our very next episode. And I am really excited. once again, to help you along this incredible journey so that I can help you get more clients. And I will see you next week at the exact same time, the exact same space on Get More Clients.